This is going to be so much fun. We are going to talk about milling your own lumber using the Woodmizer LX30. A bunch of things are great about this. You can pick what species you want to cut. You can keep track of that material so you end up with sequence cut boards, which means you're going to end up with a bunch of book match material when you're done. You can control what size material you're going to cut, and then as it's drying, of course, you have perfect control of the drying process. First thing, let's talk about logs and getting them on the mill. Yes, logs are heavy. This is a chunk of elm, but if you've got it on bunks, if you've got it on skids like I do here, what you'll find is that we can hook into it, drag it pretty easy. That's not bad. Then, when you're ready to get that baby up on the mill, I am taking advantage of Woodmizer's log ramps. So the way these work is that it's a one-way street. The log can roll over and lay that down. Once it goes past, that'll pop back up. That prevents the log from rolling back on me. Who said with a big enough lever I can move the world? With a good cant hook, you can easily roll that log. Next thing, we'll get set up to do some cutting. Couple things I did. I leveled the log so the pith is parallel to the bed. That's what that 2x4 is all about. I've got this in place that locks the log in. Now we're ready to make a cut. What'll happen here is just one slab is going to come off the top. Then we'll stop and talk about the next step. One of the things you'll see is I'm using a water mix here as a lubricant on the blade, so you will see that coming out there on the bandsaw head. Next thing, I'm gonna grab my cant hook, roll that over, get that flat spot on the bed, and we're ready for another cut. Let's talk about strategies. Once you've got that first flat produced, rolling the log over and sitting on the flat, you can probably see that really helps to keep things stabilized. On this log, I'm going to do what's called plane sawing or through and through. Through and through is a great name. What that means at its simplest is from this position, I lower the blade, I make another cut. I lower the blade, I make another cut. So when we're done, we have a bunch of planks, and the little smiley faces, the annual rings, are right across the end grain. It's a very common way to cut wood. It's the easiest way to cut wood. An alternative to that is what's called quarter sawn. It's another great thing about having your own mill. Quarter sawn lumber that you buy commercially is incredibly expensive. It's about twice as much per board foot as plane sawn, but you can easily quarter saw your own stock when you have your own mill. I'm going to continue with plane sawing, and we're going to do two different things here. I'm going to get 2 more planks off the top of this log with their live edges in place. And we're going to deal with those later, and then we'll move on to another part of the strategy. One thing that's really cool about this mill is that I want to make 5/4 lumber. There's no guesswork involved here. Looking at the scale, I can see that I'm in a position here for 5/4. So now when I do this, lowering the head, all I got to do is go to the next hash mark there, and that sets me up to cut another 5/4 piece. I'm going to do that, and then we'll just keep on keeping on. If you cut lumber and you don't sweep it a little bit and throw water on it to see how cool the grain is, you're missing out. I'm going to move that top slab, go get a bucket of water, and we're going to look at this amazing elm that I'm cutting. Are you ready for this? What's cool about this is it gives you a great idea of what that's going to look like under finish. And it makes me really excited to be able to want to work with this. Elm is not a wood I can buy commercially here in Wisconsin. So the only way for me to get this, cut it myself. Couple of different ways to get your lumber dimensional. Remember when I did those first cuts, I took those slabs off the mill, set them aside. We're going to look at them again in a second, but if you want live edge stuff, when you make that cut, you're done, and just set it aside live edge. If you want to make 4 square boards, you can do what I'm doing here. The scale that I showed you earlier on the 5/4 dimension also tells me how high the blade is above the bed. So what I just did is I cut this 12 inches wide in this direction. Now I can roll that one more time, and as I start cutting my planks, they're all going to be 12 inches wide, or 6 inches wide, or 8 inches wide, whatever you've determined when you're making this block. So there are a lot of ways you can take advantage of that scale on the mill to get exactly what you want out of it. In my case, I'm going to roll this again. From that 12-inch face, I'm going to cut more 5/4 lumber. Look at that beautiful piece of elm. I'm going to get the rest of that cut up, and then I'm going to show you another option with this live edge stuff. So remember what we've talked about. The stuff I just cut, if I left that alone, I'd have live edge slabs. If you want dimensional lumber, one way we can do it is to cut those live edge slabs, bring them back, standing them on edge, remembering that our scale shows us how high above the bed the blade is. So if at this point I want to turn those into 5/4 by 6, all I got to do is roll them over, cut edge down, set my scale to 6, and I'm ready to cut. Or make the large block that's dimensionally accurate, dimensionally correct, and then from that, cut your finished dimension boards. So there are a lot of options about how we can work with the mill. The other thing I want to show you now is some crazy cool stuff that I cut just a couple days ago. Here's some stuff I cut just the other day. Look at this walnut. The reason I specifically wanted this log is it had this crotch at this end. Check this out. See if I can get a little water on this one. And again, when I'm keeping track of these pieces, they're sequence cut, they're book matches to each other, mirror images on the grain. Crazy cool. The other thing I did is I cooked some cookies. So I had an ash log, and after I milled my planks out of it, I saved an end, and I put that on the sawmill standing up so that I could cut a couple of cookies. I love ash, what a beautiful wood. So where I'm going with all of this is to make sure you understand the multiple options you have in milling your own stuff. You saw it's not that hard to get the log on the mill. We talked about plane sawing and quarter sawing. You've got options there for depending on how you want to machine your stuff. You can pick the species. Again, that elm that I cut, I can't buy that commercially, but now I've got a lot of board feet of elm to work with. Once everything comes off the mill, you're going to sticker it, dry it, and once you've got it dry, you've got access to crazy cool stuff that you milled yourself.